Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. Posted this article on Twitter, but then I just wanted to come back and follow it up. It's one of those articles where even though I find it to be FUD, I find it to be extremely bullish for so many reasons. If you follow this channel, you probably already understand why before I even mention it. But let's just get into the article for a moment. This is in our discussion from the Bank of England. DLT not efficient enough to power CBDCs, BOEs, Cunliffe. The Bank of England is experimenting with tokenizing assets for real estate sales as well as developing a digital pound. Lawmakers were told, and we've shown, for at least 2019 or so, they're already doing that on the Stellar platform. On the Stellar blockchain. So let's just scroll down into this discussion for a moment. DLT is too clunky to be reliably used for CBDC, a senior Bank of England official told lawmakers Tuesday, pouring cold water on industry claims about the technology that underpins crypto. Scroll down just a bit more. Let's see, stating also, DLT suffers some real challenges on scalability, Cunliffe said, with any system needing to be secure and fast. Stating on the retail side of it, we put in 30,000 transactions per second as a base case, going to 100,000. And I don't think you can find any DLT that gets remotely close to that. Also stating, I'm not saying it can't, he said, but what a crypto firm or a payment firm has demonstrated, a proof of concept is a very different thing to scaling up to using economy-wide or cross-border, he's stating. What I want to get down to also, how he states, we're running projects with the BIS, the Bank for International Settlements, Innovation Hub, about a synchronization agent that will be able to synchronize not just with the financial sector, but within the land registry, he said, referring to Project Meridian, which is looking to develop an intermediary platform that settles directly in CBDC. The Land Registry is a UK government agency that records who owns real estate. And then directly from the BIS on DLT-based enhancement of cross-border payment efficiency, a legal and regulatory perspective. It's all positive. But I'm going to get into the share of this for a moment. Basically, in the abstract, stating financial law and regulation have to date assumed that regulated activities and functions are concentrated in a single legal entity responsible and accountable for operations and compliance. Even with regard to financial market infrastructure, where the regulatory perspective acknowledges the need for interoperability of many entities as a system, each entity is subject to its own rules and regulations and can thus meet its own compliance requirements independent of other system participants. The entity-focused regulatory paradigm is under pressure in the world of DLT-based payment arrangements, where some ledgers and thus the performance of the services as such are distributed. DLT arrangements could provide an alternative to the traditional reliance on a mutually trusted central entity to transfer funds and enable the creation of new foundational infrastructures by distributing technical functions or linking existing systems. As such, we identify the outline concepts for the use where DLT is potentially improving the efficiency of cross-border payments, namely a best execution DLT, a DLT application for a network of central banks, a DLT as an AML KYC utility, as well as DLT arrangements for an identity platform, a small payments platform, and finally, an interoperability platform connecting multiple closed-loop and proprietary banking systems. And that's where that was directly from the BIS in regards to the previous article, kind of shuts it down. But I want to go on further from there. Ripple executive believes CBDCs are strongest case for utility. Now, Ripple's Brooks and Twistle believes CBDCs are certainly strongest cases for utility, and the executive also revealed that Ripple is in discussion with more than 20 central banks, worldwide regarding CBDCs. And what you have is the G20. So you have Ripple Labs also expects clarity this year in its legal battle with the market's regulator. And again, we know that Ripple is going to win that hands down. Also, too, in the next article, Ripple is in dialogue with over 20 central banks on the CBDC. A different article in the same discussion because it just offered a little bit more, because I want to bring this back up. The executive explained that interaction with regulators around the world is invaluable. Unlike the U.S. regulators in Singapore, in Tokyo, in Switzerland, and the U.K., welcome dialogue and participate in roundtable discussions. And it just makes me think back to when Brad Garlinghouse had stated that 90% of their customer base was outside of the U.S., and that was pretty significant as well. But the director, Brooks and Twistle, is the Senior Vice President of Customer Services and Managing Director of the APAC and MENA at Ripple. And that is pretty significant because the APAC region, even alone, is over 60% of the global population. So that's pretty significant. But getting into another statement, so we are in dialogue with not 10, not 20, but a bunch more central banks around the world on these discussions. Again, it's very, very huge. And then to follow that up with 1 billion XRP unlocked by Ripple, and here's how much it still holds after 62 months. The San Francisco-based crypto heavyweight Ripple Labs Inc. has made another release of its funds from escrow, releasing an astounding billion XRP tokens as March has left February behind. 4 transactions carrying 2 of them at 400 million and 2 at 100 million XRP have been noticed by the escrow bot for the past 10 hours. So in the meantime, over the past 24 hours, the price of the 6th largest cryptocurrency XRP has demonstrated a modest rise of nearly 2.5%. And the amount was equivalent to 383,946,000 at the current XRP USD exchange rate. Also, too, some more global news that I believe supports all of this and I find very exciting. The UAE Emirate is to launch a free zone for digital asset firms. And as well, we have Tel Aviv stock exchanges working to add crypto trading. And again, there's so much going on. I share some of the FUD because I find it to be bullish. If it's FUD that's just random garbage, I usually just skip it. But if I find it to be FUD that's more telling on the bullish angle, because it's clear they're literally stating the opposite, on the public measure for the people who are not investors and aren't kept up to date with the most recent news, it kind of keeps them out. But for me, that's very, very extremely bullish. It just tells me that they're getting a little bit closer, and for those of us who have been here for quite a while, I find it, the time went by very fast. It's been 8+ years, but it's one of those things where now we're literally living in the days and the moments that we had waited so long for everything to happen. I think one of the final stages left is just for the lawsuit to end, and then I believe everything will start moving unbelievably fast, if not instantaneous. And my apologies, I got a little bit distracted across the street. There was a little twister, like a little mini tornado. So guys, remember, this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. And as always, do your own research. No matter how much you find, we're all human. We're all going to make mistakes. We're going to have good investments. We're going to have bad investments. We're going to have good investments that drop for whatever reason, like XRP, XLM, VeChain, XDC, and they're just holding. But know what you're holding. Everyone's human. We all make mistakes. And on this channel, that's why we don't mention buying anything. It's, we can share information. I might share, my personal journey, but do your own research because nobody's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. For example, Doge, I never have owned Doge. I've always understood it to be what it is. And then Elon Musk comes out and tweets and makes millionaires. and made that, its own special little token. And you can have good assets like XRP, which is connected to Ripple and connected to cross-border all around the earth. And then the price, can drop. Basically, think of how many people bought it at like the 380 mark. And then it dropped down to where it's at now, where I think we're sitting. Let's see if this spins by around the 37-cent mark. Let's see if this here is going to show the actual live date. It may or may not even be listed on their little scrolling price here in the center of the screen. Okay, there we go. XRP 0.3849. We know that value is much, much, much more significant than its current price, and that will eventually align and begin to reflect the price showing its true value. But having said that, again, be careful. Never overinvest. Never invest more than you can afford to hold for long term, or that you can completely lose. Again, we're only human. Nobody's perfect. We all make good investments and we all make bad ones, and you can't always tell up front. So again, we're here to share the news as we find it, but always do your own research so that you do truly know what you hold. And guys, before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought. Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. Much love, and we will catch you in the next one.